A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The dungeon labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
Presentation.
Strapping tight, the screens are bright, erasing, set to roll. At Talladega's mighty track where speed ignites the soul. The Venom truck series fires up, throttles wide open. Now a high-speed chase on virtual ground, racing with a vow. Oh, Talladega singing, hear the engines hum and soar. The big ones looming any lap, gonna shake them to the core. Tommy and Matt from Turn 200, streaming live on YouTube Shine, calling out the action in this wild racing line.
Coming to the checkered flag here at Talladega.
They have a huge run coming to the stripe.
Yes, indeed, it is the Palace of Speed here in Alabama. Welcome to Talladega Superspeedway, round number 4 of the Venom Truck Series 10th season here at Talladega. And it is time to get racing for 75 laps. It is the Golden Eagle Syrup 200 here around Matt and I's favorite place, maybe in the world. Welcome in. It's Tommy Cook, Matt Williamson, partner. It's Talladega. We know what we're in for here.
Oh, yeah, baby. You can't go wrong with a race at Talladega, especially when it's the Venom Truck Series rolling into town. And we got another large field here tonight. These drivers are looking to get after it big time here. There's no doubt about it.
Before we go any further, thanks to Tyler Berger to made us a little tune. I think, there's going to be quite the concentration of musical talent here coming up in a few weeks when everybody in the Venom Truck Series converges on Bristol. So maybe you guys ought to flesh out a song about Bristol as well. But in the meantime, we could celebrate the point standings after last week at Atlanta 2008. Quite the race last week, and the Venom Truck Series is back on track.
Yeah, it certainly is. It was a race that we would expect at the old version of Atlanta, and John Kay is the points leader, but him, Josh Matichek, and Matt Schlosser, they have really been going back and forth and exchanging some blows here early on in the season. So we'll see if that can continue at a racetrack where anybody can steal the night here tonight. But Andy Poliski has also had a good start to the season. Finally, it feels like he the last couple seasons has had some slow starts. He's finally had a good start to the season here in Season 10. He sits there in 4th. Hayden Palumbo in 5th. Chad Stearns, a nice drive last week. He sits there in 6th. Jan Van Leer and Zach Lockett actually tied for 7th. Austin Holyfield and Jordan Journeau round out your top 10. Jordan Journeau having a great start to season number 10. Then you got Michael Dean, Steve Roman, Matthew Karakoff, Jack Watts, and Josh Freed are your top 15.
I want to point out as well, RJ Starcevic just off this graphic in 17th. He's having himself a nice start to his season as well. He is back in the lineup here this evening as well. Hello to the Modicek gang as always. Hello to Robin. Hello to Bailey. Hello to Tyler Berger. Hello to Don Golden and to Joshua Rutherford as well. Speaking of both Modicek and Bergert, I want to point out something we only have in all of the races we've done at Talladega. One driver who has won here more than once on the channel. Venom Truck Series has no repeat winners here at Talladega. But I mean, of the drivers that have won races here this year, or ever on the channel, which I think in this field would be Steve Roman, Garrett Rainey, Joshua Modicek, and John Kay, and Jeremy McKinnon as well. I mean, that's a pretty good list of drivers looking to repeat. Are you leaning for a first-time Talladega winner here tonight, or maybe for experience to finally prevail here at Talladega?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's really hard to bet against those drivers that you just mentioned, but we have such a large field here tonight. This one feels like somebody that you might not expect is going to steal one here tonight. That is my bet. I think that the drivers are going to be very aggressive. And I think one of those drivers that you did not mention is going to get aggressive, and it's going to pay off for him here tonight. That is my prediction. But I say a new winner. That's like 3/4 of the field, so that might be a cop out.
Well, I'll make an argument for and an argument against. I'd say the argument for there being a new winner here tonight is this rookie class. They have qualified well here tonight. They have raced well this season, but outside of a couple last week at Atlanta, they have not finished particularly well. So can a rookie get themselves over the hump here this evening? And I'd say the argument against is the fact that John Kay has won here at Talladega before, and in fact, if you count the Venom Pro-Am, he has won 3 Venom Truck Series Super Speedway races in a row entering Talladega here tonight. But Kay will have to line up from the outside of row number 5 as we have our first repeat Tech Tape Pole Award winner of the season. Jeremy McKinnon will match his Daytona pole by grabbing his pole here at Dega. Jeremy McKinnon to the inside of Austin Holyfield, who is on quite the run over the last couple of weeks. Top 10s and a top 5 in that run. Holyfield starting in 2nd. Michael Dean, how about Dino qualifying 3rd here to the inside of Frank Cerasi. Good morning from P4. That's his best qualifying effort thus far. It is Zach Lockett to the inside of Andy Ducato, who got his first career Venom top 5 last week at Atlanta. Sam Baumgarten, one of those drivers that has raced incredibly well this season and does not have the finishes to go with it. He'll line up from 7th, where he finished at Daytona. Jordan Journeau, you mentioned his great start to the season. He'll roll off from the outside of row number 4. With a teammate caddy quarter to him, Cade Cannon starts in 9th next to John Kay, the defending Talladega winner in the Venom Truck Series. Steve Roman and Matt Schlosser on row number 6. It's Bertie Gunter and Eric Breeding on row 7. Lucas Carver, Corey Rutherford, Kyle Zittel, Joshua Monacek. That's quite the row number 9 there with Joshua Rutherford and Jan Van Leer rounding out your top 20 starters. Garrett Rainey and Josh Freed on row number 11. It's Jack Watson, Cole Maxwell on row 12. Paul Ellison and Brian Mitchell on row 13. Rob Williams, Brantley Gainey, row 14. Gary Clark and Andy Poliski round out the top 30. Chad Stearns way back there in 31st. Rodney Matney starting to his outside. Quite the row here on row number 17 with Matt Williamson apparently on the outside. Matthew Karakoff is going to race this one, though, in 33rd. And then the rest of tonight's starting lineup, Mark Ossier and Robin Young, who is back for the first time since Daytona, starting in 36. Tyler Berger, 2 podiums in a row here at Talladega, but what's going to have to come from way downtown to match that. And Pascal Samard and RJ Starcevic, Team 200 drivers, rounding out the field here tonight at Talladega. Partner, what's the strategy? What's the weather? It looks like a beautiful day in Alabama.
It's always a beautiful day in Alabama, my friend, and the track temperature is actually fairly warm. Not that it's got to play a huge factor here tonight, but it is 111 degrees, so it could be a little bit more slippery when you're trying to make aggressive moves on the racetrack. You'll just have to be a little bit more cautious maybe than normal. The ambient temperature for those fans in the stands is at a nice 85 degrees. That's about the perfect temperature to catch a NASCAR race here at Talladega. We got 75 laps around the biggest and the fastest track on the circuit, and 3 extra sets of tires. Not that those are really going to come into play either. It'll be interesting to see how this plays compared to Daytona. I mean, obviously, it's a lot easier to go 3 wide for an extended period of time here at Talladega. I would not be surprised to see some drivers really go after that third lane pretty early here.
And you and I were talking earlier, we averaged 3 cautions here at Talladega in the Venom Truck Series. In fact, the last 4 Venom Truck Series races here at Talladega have all had exactly 3 cautions. You and I both think, and I think a hot, slick track surface might contribute to this, we're probably going for the over here tonight. The all-time Venom record at Dega is 5. We'll see how these drivers are feeling as 38 of them line up behind Jeremy McKinnon and Austin Holyfield. The Golden Eagle Syrup 200 is underway at Talladega. Down the Alabama gang super stretch we go, and it's a super stretch here. Sirachi pushing Austin Holyfield clear, and they will both move down to the bottom in front of Jeremy McKinnon. Holyfield leads the opening lap here at Talladega. Remember, a couple of years ago for the Rocket Man Memorial, he won the pole position, got to lead some laps there. Ran really well at Daytona earlier this season as well. Got caught up in one of the late accidents that took him out of the running for a representative finish. He's leading now with help from Frank Sirachi and Jeremy McKinnon. Always a good tool to have in the tool belt there with the 12 truck behind you.
Yeah, you got to be careful with the 12 truck behind you, though. He can get pretty aggressive, and if you don't know how to take the push, you could get pretty uncomfortable pretty quickly. But everything working good so far here up front for those 3 on the bottom. Here comes Andy Decano there in the 0-2, getting a little help from Jordan Journeau. Journeau working his way to the front here early.
Ontarians side by side with McKinnon and Journeau as Jordan trying to push Andy Decano, last week's top finishing rookie, up into the battle for the lead. Andy led a lot of laps at Daytona, but again, didn't get the finish to go with it. P5 last week at Atlanta in a late race charge up towards the front of the field. There was a lot of late race charging for the drivers there on newer tires last week at Atlanta. There's a lot more room to charge here at Talladega, though, and it's a lot friendlier on those Goodyears.
Yeah, most certainly is. I mean, you could theoretically go the entire race on one set of tires. I mean, if it goes green from here on out, that's probably what will end up happening. But something tells me that's probably not going to be the case, as we are stacked up 2 by 2 pretty much as far as the eye can see here. Nobody has really single filed out except for maybe the last 3 or 4 trucks at the end of this line. Other than that, everybody's going for it. Journeau wants to take it to the third lane, but is getting no help so far. We'll see if Matt Schlosser goes to the top line.
Maybe he thought John Kay was going to go with him, but Kay pulls in behind Decano, who he was working quite well with at Daytona earlier this season. And the outside line starts to surge a little bit. I will say there's quite a bit of space through this field here, coming to put lap number 5 on the board. And a few weeks ago, we had a race at Talladega in the Max v CNC Home Designs Truck Series. And the temperatures weren't quite as high as they are now. But overheating was an issue, and more so than usual because of the ambient temperature. I don't think it's quite going to be the issue here, but drivers were really having to breathe it after just a lap or two as Corey Rutherford gets shuffled out of line.
Yeah, I don't know. It almost looked like a voluntary move at first, and then he tried to get back down, but he had such a run that he actually made himself not be able to get cleared back into the middle line. So now there goes another driver in the third lane that is going to go to the back of the field.
If the ambient temperature does become an issue, though, it becomes a track position race, and that's what allowed Rob Haynes to take an unprecedented third channel victory here at Talladega. Because he knew how to work that draft and manipulate the hot air.
Yeah, that's one thing this truck, you can't just all-out flat push with your bumpers connected for all that long, especially like you mentioned with the hotter ambient temperature. Your gauges will start blinking at you, and you gotta be able to time the runs and be able to manage when your gauges are gonna start blinking at you and when you're gonna have to tuck away for some air.
Well, it's Lisa Kell, if we haven't said it already, cheering on Tyler Burgert. Burgert just riding right now at the back of the field.
Not a bad strategy here tonight.
No, I don't think so. It's my strategy of preference.
Looks like maybe RJ Starcevic is on the third lane. He was hoping to maybe get some help. Hasn't gotten any so far.
You know, you mentioned it last week. RJ seemingly putting some time in. He's been full-time thus far this season with the Venom Truck Series. This is a track where really running laps by yourself is not going to do anything. You need to be in the pack to know what you need to do. And this is as good a time as any to be in the pack and try some things out. You got plenty of time to recover from any mistakes.
And he's got some practice super speedway racing. Maybe not in the truck all the time, but most cars and vehicles, they translate pretty well. There's just little different nuances between one to the other.
Finished just outside of the top 10 at Daytona earlier this season, did RJ. As notice, still leaving about a truck length-ish gap as Andy Nakato's down in front of Holyfield and around, and the caution is out. He's going to be the only casualty of this one. As the field starts to fan out, I don't think he had any help from John Kay. It looked like he just started moving down. We'll have to take a better look at that one, though.
We certainly will, but I'll tell you what, he did a nice job to not hit the inside wall. He was very, very close. But if you hit that inside wall at any rate of speed, that's what really hurts you in the long run. And it looked like the 02 was able to keep it clean. So although he is going to lose some track position here, he'll still be a healthy truck out there and will have his moments to work his way back through the field.
Another thing we talked about last week is the blowover physics being dampened a little bit, and that is certainly going to help him in the long run as well, because that car was up in the air.
Let's take a look at the replay here. Ducato on the top side. John Kay giving the push. Hard to tell from this angle, but it looks like they're connected here. And it looks like Andy just trying to, he just tries to get down to the bottom, thinks he's clear, and that inside lane got a run at the same time and just was not clear. And there you see on his side nearly. Oh, and he did hit the inside wall. Interesting. It'll be interesting to see if there's much damage there. I mean, when we cut to him after the incident. There's no cosmetic damage to the front whatsoever, but there was definitely contact with the inside wall.
Well, it's funny, he's running the Ford F-150, which already has a pretty flat nose, so if anything, it just made it flatter. And to point out as well, over the radio, pretty quickly, he claimed that one, said it was on me.
Here's a good look from the nose of John Kay. You see they're connected. Ducato's getting the push. Ducato just starts to move down, thinking he might be clear. And we'll back it up a little bit so you can see it from Holyfield's point of view. Be curious to know if there was a spotter clear at all here.
What a great camera angle.
Yeah, beautiful camera angles from the one and only Tommy Cook. Let's go full speed with Holyfield. Yeah, and I mean from that angle, it doesn't look like Ducato was ever clear. It's not like he was clear for a moment and then it was just a late move. I mean, it looked like a very aggressive move, just trying to really squeeze down there on the bottom, and was never clear. It did not appear.
Oh my gosh, we've got data check in the chat. Incredible. Welcome. Honored. Truly honored.
The gang is truly all here.
Absolutely. Joshua plus 12 right now. I think that's maybe the hard charger run. Maybe Brantley Gainey, actually, plus 15. But, I mean, Joshua probably a little bit deeper in the field than he wanted to be in qualifying. He said in practice, I'm not even going to bother making a single car run because I'm not any good at super speedway qualifying, which hashtag relatable. Incredibly. I think maybe he picked that up through osmosis.
It is certainly an art, and the other funny thing is that it varies very different from Daytona to Talladega. I mean, from personal experience, I'm very good at qualifying at Daytona. Talladega, I am just average at the very, very best. And I don't know why, but there's just little nuances to every single track. And even though you think it's just a regular old super speedway qualifying session, that is certainly not the case. They are very different.
Maticek finishes of second, and fourth this season. You would think he would be the points leader because John Kay is finished behind him in 2 races this season. But Kay has been racking up the stage points, whereas Joshua Maticek has not. So that is what is keeping Kay afloat in the points entering tonight. And these two dueling it out for the win at Daytona. I can envision a scenario where they are doing the exact same thing here at Talladega this evening. And certainly the pieces are in place early on.
Yeah, I mean, they're both sitting up here in the top 10, lined up in the same line right now with one Canadian in between them. So, yeah, they are working their way towards that, but we have a long ways to go here. 60 laps left in this one, so there's plenty of time for things to potentially go awry for these two, but hopefully they'll keep it in one piece.
How about Frank Srirachi leading his first Venom Truck Series laps here in truck number 3? He'll take the bottom, put John Kay on the top side. Austin Holyfield back to third, now with Jeremy McKinnon to his outside. Matt Schlosser and Joshua Maticek on row number 3. Michael Dean and Zach Lockett on row 4. Then it'll be Sam Baumgarten and Jan Van Leer to round out the top 10. Lap number 12 up on the board this time as the pace truck is in. And Srirachi will head for the restart zone. And we're back underway. Worth pointing out as well, Andy Ducato did rejoin the tail of the field. The only driver we lost thus far is Pascal Simard, who had a problem on the opening lap of some kind. Here comes the outside. John Kay moving ahead with help from Jeremy McKinnon.
A big run for both of them. They're both going to try and get clear. McKinnon was a little close, but nice move there from the 2 and the 12 to work together on the outside.
Here is Lockett moving the 60 Amonachek right along. And what do you know? It's your 2 points protagonists side by side for the lead here at Talladega. But Lockett, unsquare, has to roll out of it, not to turn the 60 truck. And that would have been a quick exit from the 60 as he flew into the grandstands.
Yeah, what happens there as well is once you get the nose out there, for just a brief moment, you get a big run on the truck that's in front of you. So when Lockett pulls out like that, he actually pulls up and kind of gets even with that rear bumper of the 60, and he has to just kind of muddy the throttle a little bit to try and back himself off and get back in line. That is not a good feeling from the driver's seat.
Amonachek roaring back here on the outside, has the lead at the stripe. Can he get clear? No. Not yet. Jan Van Leer pulling in behind Zach Lockett. Haven't seen any signs of the Pony Express ICR team up that we have the last few super speedway races, but maybe they just haven't all gotten together yet. This is JVL's first appearance up towards the top 5 here this evening. Michael Dean started in the top 5, still hanging around the top 10 bubble, but he's on the inside as JVL is on the outside. Some drivers up here for the first time tonight. Josh Freed, Joshua Rutherford, Steve Roman, Eric Breeding. Boy, you and I were pulling for Steve Roman to get the pole position. He had it for a long time, and in the last minute of qualifying, he fell from first down to 11th.
Yeah, he dropped out of the top. He dropped from first to 8th in about 8 seconds, and then dropped a few more after that.
Yeah, that was rough. But always a threat no matter where he starts, and he's up here in the top 10. As Kay is clear to move up if he wants to, but I would imagine he's just going to stay down here on the front bumper of McKinnon.
Yeah, I mean, McKinnon, I would assume, is somebody he's pretty comfortable running with. If it was, maybe somebody he was less comfortable with, maybe you move up. But, I mean, it's, especially here at Talladega, that bottom is a pretty comfortable spot to be. Now, once somebody leapfrogs you, then you can start kind of thinking about when you're going to jump out, when you want to make another move. But, I think he just keeps the status quo here for a while.
Brady Gunter has arrived on the scene. He's up here on the top side now, pushing Josh Freed. Josh Freed's race at Atlanta last week was so quick that Matt Schlosser forgot that he even started the race in his post-race interview. So Freed is looking for a big recovery here tonight at Dega.
Had a little bit of 3-wide trying to form up there about a lap and a half ago, but it dissipated very quickly. Although I'm a bit surprised that we really haven't seen a third lane form to try and make a run this early. There could be some major fuel calculating going on right now as well. That is always on the minds of the drivers when you come to a super speedway. Save literally as much fuel as possible because you never know when you're going to need that last little drop.
As if racing, basically hauling down the interstate at 191 miles an hour isn't hard enough. You also have to be thinking about fuel as well. And they say this is easy and luck-based. No.
Especially not when you have to do your own calculations. When you got engineers doing all that stuff, maybe it's different.
I've got a calculator. His name is Matt Williamson.
I don't know how good that calculator is, but
Hasn't failed me yet.
we had some 3 wide really starting to form up. We had 3 or 4 drivers all hooked up here towards the back, and very quickly they all have dropped to the middle lane.
Ooh, Lockett jamming on the brakes there. Checks up Jan. Luckily, there was a car length behind him back to Josh Freed. And that is going to back up this outside line. But watch, they could turn this into a big run with all this energy tightly compacted here. Monacek might be able to take the lead at the line if they play their cards right. Nope, it's going to stall out just a bit.
Yeah, they got separated. Jan was... that third truck in line is very important to really continue that momentum forward, and Jan just fell off a little bit. Don't think he expected Lockett to get such a big run. Now all of a sudden, look at this third lane. This came out of nowhere.
I mean, Chad Stearns just about walloped the 26 of Eric Breeding there on his way to snipe this outside line. And him and Zittel are coming with a head of steam as Staccato and Aussie are making some contact in the middle line back there. And all of a sudden, the temperature just came up. Not actually, but, you know. Oh, we are steaming here.
Yeah, track temperature is actually down a little bit, but
Okay.
yeah,
the on-track action is heating up.
The action on the track is certainly hot. And they have
from
come.
Brody Gunter.
They have come quickly. Lockett actually moves up to the third lane here, getting hooked up with a teammate there in Chad Stearns.
Zittel not getting much help there on the outside. I'm not 100% sure who that is up there. Might be Garrett Rainey.
That's Garrett Rainey.
I couldn't see the number on the truck. Oh, he's running the Twister Creek Media truck tonight. I forgot.
He certainly is.
Shout out to Ryan Dye.
Where is Ryan Dieth in the chat?
Maybe we have summoned him. We'll see. Oh, boy. I tell you what, these guys are hemming and hawing in all lanes. One driver to keep an eye on that ran decent at Daytona, Matthew Karakoff. He's without a teammate tonight. You notice Hayden Palumbo was not in the starting lineup this evening. So Karakoff is on his own, but he is now on this outside line.
Oh, my
back
goodness.
that was tight.
That was almost disaster in the middle of the field there. Oh, and still a lot of sun. I believe that is the 8 of Gary Clark, and he just about came down into both of the Rutherford boys. The Rutherfords are hooked up on the bottom together, but they are buried in the pack right now.
They are stuck. There is no doubt about that. Lucas Carver up in the middle.
Oh,
We
little
are
4 wide.
Stearns and Lockett getting cut out. Rainey jamming on the brakes. Almost freed, and they're all falling backwards.
Wow, that was a bold move from the 53 of Kyle Zittel, and he found a hole there into the middle.
Boy, that was almost. We were inches from disaster there.
And look at that.
We had
all of a sudden that happens, and that outside line has dropped like a rock. 4, 5, 6 truck lengths now.
Yeah. Stearns and Rainey dropping backwards. Robin Young still hung out there on the top side as well. Maybe they'll try and keep something going. As Allie Hill's message got deleted. But hello to Allie, as John Kay leading. And now Zittel shuffled out.
I think Zach Lockett, I don't think, liked the move from Zittel, and he just pulled a very similar move there on the 53.
No. How about Rodney Matney charging up the middle here? He's going to hit the wall. Not the literal wall, but as there goes Jeremy McKinnon out of the top side. Zittel bringing the third line back. Kay, McKinnon, and Zittel leading the lines here in Talladega. That is going to be quite the show.
Karakoff trying to give some help there to the 53. They're starting to get some momentum. Here comes Chad Stearns. That is going to give them a head of steam there in the third lane.
McKinnon can drop down if he wants, but instead he backs up. Just a little brake tap there to the 60 of Monachek, who's off center. They survived that one, but you don't get many chances there out of the corner to redo that. Here is Zittel now, charging up on the outside. Oh, no! Karakov tries to follow Zittel, and McKinnon torched. Many trucks involved here. And this very well could be the big one.
Oh, dear. They are still wrecking.
I mean,
still wrecking. Free just got turned from the top side.
Man, that was big time. Chad Stearns' race is over. Jeremy McKinnon's race is over. So that was Matthew Karakov pushing Kyle Zittel to the lead. He wanted to follow him, but that, I mean, second verse, same as the first on that one. There was a truck down there.
Yeah, that was a big one. That happened in a hurry. We'll try and find the replay. There was a lot of activity that happened all of a sudden there. Well, let's take a look at the replay. Karakov gets Zittel out in front. And this is easy to do. I don't even know if... It's easy to follow somebody down there even when you're not trying to... Even if you know you're not clear, it's easy to just follow somebody down there for a brief moment and then get yourself stuck in a bad spot. I don't know if that's what happened or not, but... certainly possible, but I mean, look at this. Jan Van Leer, McKinnon, Stearns, Karakov, Brody Gunter, Freed. You see Gary Clark turned sideways there further back. Jeremy McKinnon ended up on the hood of Chad Stearns. And you see Corey Rutherford turn completely backwards there. Brian Mitchell, heavy damage in the 78. That was something massive.
So it sounds like a contributing factor to the enormity of this crash. Not only that it happened at the front of the field, but everybody on the radio is saying that their spotter called out that there was a crash on the front stretch.
Oh,
and I mean,
that's
we're talking about seconds and milliseconds here to apply the brakes and stay out of this crash. And if you don't realize it's happening, you're going to be in it.
Man, McKinnon absolutely got catapulted into the outside wall.
Talk about plot armor. Joshua Monachek and John Kay both took direct hits in that one and keep on going.
Little plug from Nathan Reynolds at Car Inside. Says that Andy Ducato had a nice little path through there as well. Let's take a look at the beautiful nose camera. Let's take a look from Andy's point of view here. Full speed. He's off the gas, on the apron. A little bump to Matney, but quick thinking to get to the apron there and able to slide on through with very, very minimal contact. I'll keep looking at this. You let me know when we need to when we need to get to live here.
Well, we are doubled up. I will say that. And where are we? I think we're in turn 2, headed down the backstretch.
Alrighty. Well, let's take a look from McKinnon's point of view as Karakov is going to get turned right down into him. This is what he saw, basically. I mean, really no indication. Well, that one has certainly given us some entertainment while the caution flag was waving.
Yes. Yes, it definitely has. Well, here we go. Steve Roman, Garrett Rainey on the front row. Row 2, Andy Poliski and Robin Young. How about Lucas Carver and Eric Breeding on row 3? Rob Williams, Kyle Zittel, row 4. John Kay and Zach Lockett, the top 10. It's lap 28.
Speaking of Lucas Carver, he is running a car inside camera for us, starting third in line on the bottom here.
And speaking of Nathan Reynolds, I don't think we've mentioned at all that this is the seeding race for the Car Inside tournament. Top 16 drivers will be in the bracket.
This is one heck of a seeding race.
Yes, it is.
I'm assuming that was to the very purposeful doing of Nathan Reynolds.
Oh, 1,000%. Tournament will kick off next week at New Hampshire, which just had a banger race with Max V last Thursday night. Single file for the most part. There's a move for Kyle Zittel. Try and get around Rob Williams, as there's Robin Young now pulling up in front of the 53. Lockett and Kay pulling up to the top side.
68 and the 53 were locked
around goes Michael
there.
Dean. We're still green.
Yeah, I mean, nobody is slow on the racetrack, so we are going to keep it green here.
Well, Dean is pulling back onto the track now, but already going at 60 miles an hour, so we will stay green.
Well, that's going to be a killer there for Dino.
He'll need a quick caution, and honestly, he might get it.
Yeah, I mean, the initial start or restart was pretty tame, a lot of single file, and as drivers start to get some runs throughout the field, things are certainly going in a different direction.
So it's Vroman and Robin Young side by side. Young's only other start this season was at Daytona. Got to lead some laps in that race as well. And I believe didn't get the finish to go with it, as Zittel and Kay tracking it to the outside wall. Poliski into the door of Young as they're 3 wide. Young is going to free fall through the middle here.
It's going to get a little bit of help from the 01, but has been leapfrogged by those 4 trucks.
Ooh, big slide up the track there for Ducato, who's now going to lead the outside line. And we are right back to 3 wide through the field. Man, Kay with a big shot there to Zittel, got him loose.
Do also need to mention that bonus points at the halfway mark are coming up here before too long as well. We saw quite a few drivers stay out rather than come down to take fuel, and you got to wonder if maybe that was part of the play there. although quite a few of them have dropped well outside the top 10 already.
See if it's lap 37 or 38 when it's all said and done, but you're right. I mean, that's what's keeping the intensity so high. Less than 10 to go in the stage. Ducato on the outside. Zittel leading the middle, and Vroman pulling the bottom along. Some space forming up down low, but Vroman has a teammate, Poliski, pushing him. Holyfield a bit out of shape there.
And Matacek nearly got pushed into the wall.
Zittel a foot clear, and Vroman now pushing on the right side.
Ducato put it right on John K's bumper. I think John had to back out of it there. That was close.
Man, we are making some wild moves at the front of this field. Zittel now on point down low. Ducato now down to the middle, and Holyfield trying to gather up this outside line with help from his teammate and co-worker, Joshua Matacek, rather. Now John Kay going to jump to the top side.
Yeah, Kay left Ducato really quickly there. Oh, and Matacek up into the wall off of 2. Big checkup on that outside line.
Yeah, it'll break the top up quick. A lot of stickers McQueen in the chat. I'm not sure where Rodney is. I think he's still on track at least. Yeah, he's 21st right now. Actually make it 18th. As again, we're 3 wide. Robin Young coming back up the middle. Coming up on Gary Clark here.
Yeah, the lapped truck. Clark decides to go down to the apron. Probably a good move here, being 3 wide. That could have gotten ugly pretty quick.
While we were focusing on that, something happened to Corey Rutherford and Joshua Rutherford as well. Not 100% sure.
Corey's well off the pace. Joshua is in a little bit of a pack. They should be okay to hang on to the rest of the pack here. I don't think they're in danger of losing the draft.
Corey and Sam Baumgarten are way off the back of the pack. Sam, I think, hit the inside wall. That's the second week in a row that those two teammates have made contact.
Yeah, there's a lot of drivers hanging way off the back that are not too keen on the absolute hornet's nest that is the front of this field right now. Oh, no, here we go.
Oh, boy. Matacek around. Carver involved. Tyler Berger with damage. Robin Young. Srirachi. And Austin Holyfield already towing back to the pits. That is caution number 3.
Hard to tell with this paint. The paint scheme, how much damage Matacek has. It kind of plays tricks on your eyes a little bit. But, I mean, to be honest, doesn't look terrible from definitely what it could have been. Definitely will be some optional damage that will need to be fixed there.
So that should give Kyle Zittel some much-needed bonus points here to win the stage. Roman, Ducato, Poliski, and Kay, the top 5. I'm not too sure from the sounds of the calls over the radio that Austin Holyfield may have blown up in the pack.
Oh, interesting. I mean, they were pushing hard for quite a few laps. I didn't hear a call out that any gauges were going awry. A lot of times the driver will say, hey, I got to pull out for some air here, but boy, there's the smoke, and that is definitely what happened.
Oh, and here's the thing. They just changed this dash a few weeks ago to be the new truck dash. You don't really know where your limits are now with the new tax, or the new digital tax.
Yeah, that is a great point. Oh, man. Holyfield, Sriracha into the inside wall. See Matacek, Young, Bergert spinning there on the bottom. Bergert does a nice job saving that thing from sliding too much further. Oh, interesting. There's a call over the radio that John Kay was about to blow up as well.
Telling you, there's something to it. We saw it in Max V. Even though the temperatures were higher a couple of Thursdays ago, it's something these drivers are having to consciously think about. Normally, I think the subconscious rule of thumb, anytime that you and I are super speedway racing, is you can't be locked together for more than 2 laps. But, I mean, they weren't. They weren't locked together.
Yeah, let's take a look. Pretty much together here into turn 1, but, I mean, Kay gets pretty separated from him. Wow. Like you said, I mean, there was definitely separation through turns 1 and 2 there for the 10, but obviously not enough. And I mean, there's really nowhere for him to go to peek out for air either, which is a problem. Being stuck there on the top side. So,
and he was keeping his left headlight ducked out of line a little bit just to try and dump any amount of air on there, but it obviously was not enough.
Well,
and that's a shame.
Yeah, that will certainly is going to put some drivers on notice. Gotta be careful throughout the rest of this race, especially when we get towards the end. Don't want to have too many other blow-up incidents like that.
No, you certainly don't. As drivers trying to get as much damage fixed as possible. We mentioned an incident for Sam Baumgarten. Under the green, the inside line had a huge checkup. And the Rutherfords and Baumgarten did not get checked up in time. Corey hit the back of Baumgarten, sent him into the inside wall. And Rutherford himself lost the draft afterwards. So Baumgarten has taken an extended stay on pit road here to try and get his damage fixed. So he's now fallen 2 laps down.
Yeah, I was able to find the replay here. Let's back it up. If we can get a little bit of a better angle. And yeah, just a massive, massive checkup in front of him.
So we've got... No, go ahead.
I was just going to mention Corey, of course. I mean, he had to get hard on the brakes, but it just didn't matter at that point. That's how he lost the draft, was just by slamming on the brakes to try and stay out of Baumgarten, basically.
So Baumgarten might be able to get back going here before they come to the green. He'll still be 2 laps down, but the good news for him is everybody else that is a lap down is not on the track. That'd be Austin Holyfield and Tyler Bergert. They have required repairs. So Baumgarten should be able to get the lucky dog if he could pick off a quick caution here and get back onto the racing surface. Surprisingly, after the 2 large incidents that we've had back-to-back, we still have 30 drivers on the lead lap here. So there's still plenty of energy to send forward and to scatter. Kyle Zittel, the race leader. Andy Ducato to his outside. John Kay riding in third with Zach Lockett to his outside. Brantley Gainey and Paul Ellison, the vets, up here on row number 3. We're back underway, and now we are not. Caution is out, as it looks like there's a few trucks around at the start-finish line. Not too sure that didn't jam up from all the drivers that came back down pit road under the caution. There was a lot of single file.
That was Rob Williams, Josh Freed, and Lucas Carver. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Yeah, massive checkup. And yeah, Carver gets in the back of Williams. Freed, of course, back into the couple of them as well. We'll back it up a little bit further, see if we can get a look at maybe more where this happened. It looked like they were all moving forward, and then all of a sudden they just were not.
That was a little messy.
Yeah.
And a quick fourth caution, which breaks our 3 caution streak at Talladega, which you and I both thought we were hitting the over here tonight. I will say it's impressive in a series that runs anywhere from 65 to 75 lap races at Talladega that the track record is only 5 cautions.
So this is interesting. Everybody is coming back down pit road, basically, which tells me they are very close to the fuel number.
Drivers staying out. Mark Ossier, Matt Schlosser, Brian Mitchell, Garrett Rainey.
These drivers
came. Clark will be the lucky dog.
These drivers came down on lap 37 and 38. I have a hard time believing they can make it to the end. I could be wrong. I mean, you can definitely, if you're in the middle of the pack, I mean, fuel save to your little heart's content. But I feel like this would be a long ways. I feel like typically we're looking at maybe 27, 28, maybe up to 30 laps here at Talladega. I mean, this would have to be 33 laps at least.
Yeah, going back to the last caution, it would have to be 33. The number I always have in my head is 29 here. So that would be quite the stretch. Even if we do get 2 or 3 more cautions, you also have to start thinking about overtime at that point. It's going to be tough.
Be interesting to see how it plays out, though.
I mean, not the worst idea to maybe wait out a caution and get yourself out of hell. Although I will say, to counter that, almost all the wrecks have been directly at the front of this field thus far.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, other than
3 out of 4 inside the top 10.
Other than just this very last one, yeah, all of them have been right up towards the front of the field, which, to be honest, I mean, obviously, we had that one absolutely massive one, but other than that, they haven't been all that large. And when they happen at the front of the field like that, a lot of times that is not the case. So for the most part, drivers have done a good job of trying to use some avoidance techniques and giving each other at least as much room as possible when things go awry.
So, some things we got coming up this week. Tomorrow, it's the Daredevil series. Finally, we get to say that. Daredevil kicking off at Indianapolis, which is the marquee event of the season. You can catch us at 8 o'clock Eastern Time tomorrow night. And Thursday night, Max V is somewhere. And I do not remember where. I'll think of it eventually, but it'll be Thursday night, 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Oh, you know what? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong schedule. Never mind. I decided to cheat because I couldn't think of it. We're at Dover.
The time.
Yep, we're at the Monster Mile. We went from the Magic Mile to the Monster Mile. How could I forget? So, Dover, 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday.
Haven't really talked about Paul Ellison in the 55 almost at all tonight, which tonight is maybe a good thing up to this point. Not sure if he's been involved in any of the incidents, maybe a little damage here and there, but he's got the VR headset on and he is ready to go to battle back here again, just outside the top 10 currently.
Ellison has finished 17th in both of his appearances this season with the Venom Truck Series.
Interesting there. I don't know if some of you caught that. We had some drivers come back down pit road a second time for a little fuel splash on lap 42. So they certainly think they are probably right on the number right now where they think they can save enough fuel throughout the run to be able to have enough fuel to make it to the end. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out.
It's going to be tight either way. Whether you stayed out or whether you pit under this caution, you are definitely under the gun if we go green from here on out. Mark Ossier leading his first laps in the Venom Truck Series. We'll hammer the gas and back to the green we go. Brian Mitchell here underneath of Matt Schlosser. Schlosser being helped along by, well, I thought Garrett Rainey, but apparently not. That's Andy Ducato. So Schlosser to the point now.
Oh, Lockett was trying to get down with Schlosser. A couple of teammates there, but the hole closed quickly, so now Lockett will be the man on point on the outside, and here's RJ Starcevic doing the pushing in the 29.
Starcevic in the Motor Stardom Chevy Silverado pushing away on Zach Lockett. Lockett will be free to move, and he'll move down low. Now it'll be Kyle Zittel pushing RJ Starcevic on the top. So, seeing if things are going to settle even just a little.
See Kyle Zittel bail out of the top side, maybe trying to get in position for some fuel save here. I can tell you who's not saving fuel. That is Starcevic and Lockett right now.
No, definitely not.
But other drivers definitely trying to fuel save. I mean, look at how far Schlosser is off of Andy Ducato.
Yeah, I think that's the telltale sign that you have nailed it right on the head. I mean, that's 2 or 3 truck lengths between him and Ducato. I would imagine we're going to hear a cracked throttle if we go kickpot cam with the 04.
Well, let's take a little listen. Honestly, it's pretty steady, but he's just not holding it wide open. He's just holding it in a position that's probably at about 80% right now, if I had to guess. He's trying to keep it right around that 7,000 RPM mark and really does not want to go over that.
Well, the drivers were trying the outside line. It was Frank Sirachi and Rob Williams. They get back in. Now Robin Young will jump up top. And it looks like Brian Mitchell, I think, has had enough as he will drop all the way to the tail of the field.
I mean, the one thing that does happen here while fuel save is happening, if there's some drivers that feel like there's no reason to fuel save, maybe they just feel like they can't make it or they just want to play a different strategy, I mean, this is the time to make up some positions while everybody else is kind of going 80% throttle, trying to save a little bit here.
Lucas Carver, multiple laps down. I mean, he has had a miserable start to this season, and it's not getting any better here. He's back down pit road under green. It's Cole Maxwell now going to jump up top with Garrett Rainey. The bottom line with Jan Van Leer and Matt Schlosser now is going to have a gap filled as Sirachi will get down low.
It's such a delicate balance. You want to be able to save that fuel to make it to the end, but you also don't want to get buried in the pack either. And for Schlosser, he is certainly committed to this fuel save, but he is starting to get buried on the bottom.
Well, this top line does not care. Maxwell, Rainey.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow. Steady hands there for Maxwell, and he keeps it from exploding.
I don't know how he was not perpendicular to the outside wall there.
No. So that was a close call. And a night with two big ones already. Maxwell and Rainey going to continue the charge here on the outside with teammates Poliski and Vroman. I should say teammates to themselves, not to Maxwell or Rainey. Regardless, they're motoring here on the top side. And if Poliski and Vroman can find their way up towards the front, Eric Breeding, the other broke guy recruit for this season, he would love to get his season back on track. After a rough go at Atlanta last week, he's got his teammates coming up to the outside here. Breeding pushing Starcevic, who led at the stripe. Maxwell has got 3/4 of his car out in front, and Starcevic is clear to move down on Lockett. Roman into the wall. That will pull this top side back just a bit, and they'll go even with Breeding in the middle.
Officially 2/3 through this one. 25 laps to go this time around.
And look at this. Work in progress is back together in the middle. But to point out, Sam Baumgarten still 4 laps down. And oddly enough, in position for the lucky dog. But he's got 3 teammates on the lead lap in front of him.
There's been a little more chatter on the radio about temperatures getting hot in these trucks.
I'd say the only person that doesn't have to worry about that right now is RJ Starcevic as he leads.
I wouldn't even say they're pushing all that hard, and
no, they're not.
Still a problem. So, yeah, I mean, as we get further and further into this race, inside 10 to go, and they're really trying to make some moves, things could go south in a hurry here.
Ambient temperature staying relatively the same, but the track temperature has fallen by 13 degrees since the start of the race. As here comes Maxwell back on the top side. Starcevic trying to rally down low.
Oh, boy.
Maxwell now going to jump down to the middle in front of Breeding.
So now Rainey
Maxwell
getting some
led out
help.
at the stripe.
The broke guy boys. -1
Rainey
here tonight right now.
Oh, Maxwell floating between the lanes there. Stacks up that inside a little bit as Rainey now will get down in front of Maxwell.
Boy, a lot of drivers wanted to be on the top side. All of a sudden, there is nobody up there in the third lane. 3 trucks trying to make it work, but they are going to have to work hard to stay even, and they are.
Well, those 3 are all former Super Speedway winners here in the Venom Truck Series. Whoa. Teammates Poliski and Vroman and Rodney Matney, who this race, I believe, is a privateer. The rest of Raging Moose is off for the night. So he has hitched his wagon to Broke Guy, but Steve Vroman is looking all sorts of out of shape behind Poliski.
Tell you what, it's still working. Poliski is clear if he wants it.
And Vroman, was clear just for the blink of an eye. Poliski not going to abandon his teammate.
Three wide here at the front. I think now might be a good time.
Good a time as any, partner. Let's do it.
Inside 20 to go now. Andy Poliski leads it across the line, bringing us to 19 to go.
And the front 7 drivers in that middle line are all teammates amongst themselves. 3 Broke Guy drivers, 4 work-in-progress drivers. Broke Guy leading it. The drivers on the outside and inside are all scattered to the winds as Poliski will come down in front now of Garrett Rainey and Rodney Matney. Ahead just a bit there on the outside with help from Frank Sirachi and Mark Gossier. So now it is Broke Guy controlling 2 of the 3 lanes.
Yeah, I mean, just 5 laps ago or so, it was Poliski, Steve Vroman, and Matney all together on the top, and now they're controlling the entire race.
Rodney Matney's going to throw a big wrench in this as he's going to get down in front of Poliski.
Ooh. Sirachi nearly got down into Steve Vroman there.
Oh, and Breeding nearly went up there into Sirachi. Brian Mitchell pushing Robin Young on the top side. They all converge a bit too quickly. Young has to save it. I think that spooked Joshua Rutherford a bit, who rolls out of it. It would have scared me as well.
Yeah, still quite a ways to go here. 17 laps coming up is certainly going to go by quickly, but no need to put yourself in a very dangerous situation right now.
Certainly you and I would still be in survival mode at this point. That's race-winning moves don't usually start to fall into place until about 10 laps to go, unless you've really got something cooking.
Yeah, I mean,
But
if
don't
I'm
forget,
not,
we're not done with the strategy yet in this one either.
that is very true. I mean, if I'm not in the top 6 right now, I don't want to be in this front pack. But you're absolutely correct. There could still be quite a bit of fuel save going on, although it seems like that has pretty much subsided. It's been pretty aggressive for the last 10 to 15 laps. So, I mean, it makes you wonder one of two things. Either they know they're not good and there's going to have to be a pit stop no matter what, or some of them may have saved enough already, which would be somewhat hard to believe.
It would definitely be surprising. We got lap traffic up ahead with Josh Freed, Gary Clark, and Lucas Carver, who will all try to fall single file now as the field is coming up quickly. Where will they go? And will they go together? That's always the question.
Oh, look at this. Andy is going to leave Matney, and he is going to go get the help of his teammate, Steve Roman, yet again.
I think he wants the freedom to move wherever these lap cars are not. And picking up Steve Roman will be a bonus. They'll have the ability to maneuver around the racetrack here. They've also got quite the lead right now, and this field is going to pull this rubber band back here pretty hard.
Yeah, unfortunately, Matney probably not going to have anywhere to go with it. I'd take that back. He might be able to get clear of Breeding here if he pedals in a hurry, and he does.
Yes, he will. I think they are calling the inside.
And by inside, they mean below the yellow line.
Okay. That's good. As long as they can hold it.
Yep. Boy, this
Crisis averted.
the front of this pack has really gotten broken up here.
Breeding pulling out to not get a huge run with Rodney Matney. But now it's going to be a big run for the Rutherfords and Brody Gunter. Oh, Corey into the
Gunter.
wall.
Oh, a surge to the front, but
And
oh
Rutherford
no, Rutherford's gonna get turned. It's Rutherford on Rutherford violence.
Oh, dear. Zach Lockett header. That's the big one. Again. Man, that all started with just a pop of the wall there from Corey Rutherford. Joshua getting shoved from behind I'm sure, was completely out of the gas. And that will take quite a few good trucks out of this race. Mark Ossier, Zach Lockett in particular. The Rutherfords will be torched here as well. I'm sure a lot of other drivers going to get ping-ponged around in this one, as that is caution number 5 on the night.
Man, and what's gonna happen here is Corey is giving such a good push down the backstretch to Brody. He wants to push him all the way into the corner, but here on the top side, when he pushes him all the way into the corner, he washes up the racetrack and gets up into that outside wall. That's not a great angle. Let's move it back here a little bit. A great push, 15 connected to the 01. Breeding pretty much all by his lonesome here at this point there in the middle. And Corey is wanting to push Brody all the way into the corner, but when you're tucked in like that, you can't really see the corner. Gets himself up into the wall. Joshua is getting pushed from behind. You can see Sriracha is obviously connected to Josh here. And they're trying to go 4 wide, and it's doable, but unfortunately doesn't work out this time.
And, if they didn't share a last name, maybe Joshua takes that run with Sriracha and just says, oh, well, but I'm sure he was doing everything he can to try and stay out of that one.
Oh,
I mean, they were rolling.
This damaged a lot of trucks.
Yes, it did.
Sriracha, Lockett. You see Jack Watson there, RJ Starcevic, both are Rutherfords. Looks like Matt Schlosser might have some damage from it.
Well, the report from the Infield Care Center is that after the accident in Turn 4, we have lost Zach Lockett.
Oh, dear. Yeah, he took a hard shot into the outside wall. There's no doubt about it.
Apron to wall in 0.3 seconds. He's going to be hurting for sure.
This is Lockett's point of view.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah. That'll do it. And the engine blows immediately. Oh, my goodness. Corey somehow ended up pretty much upside down. Oh, he did. He was definitely upside down. My goodness. He went for a full-on wall ride. Okay, let's go on board with Corey here. Better yet, let's go to the nose cam. I mean, look at this great ride. I mean, it was a great move from these 3 teammates. Little touch of the wall, backs him up.
It was perfect till it wasn't. If I haven't done that 100 times, I've done it 1,000 times. It's easy.
Here's the point of view from the back. He gets on the wall. Joshua gets even with him. And just can't quite keep it together. Well, if you need a paint job that can withstand the hard surfaces of Talladega, check out CJR Graphics. He deserves a plug after that ride.
I'm more impressed that the camera survived a full 360 under the track surface. Well,
that was an incident.
Yes, it was. All right, here's the lay of the land. We're restarting with 10 laps to go. In regulation, I would imagine fuel concerns are alleviated. Andy Poliski will start side by side with his teammate Steve Roman. Remember, you cannot change lanes before you cross the start-finish line. But I'm sure there'll be other gamesmanship going on because Eric Breeding will be starting behind his other teammate, Steve Roman, with Rodney Matney underneath of them. Row 3 will be Brody Gunter and Cole Maxwell. Matt Schlosser, Kyle Zittel, row 4. Brian Mitchell, Joshua Matichek back in the top 10. I mean, these are 10 very capable super speedway racers and 10 drivers hungry for victory. Even though Schlosser just won last week, he's the only one of the top 10 drivers who has parked it in victory lane this far this season. He wants it again. We still have 27 drivers on the lead lap. Any one of them could park it in victory lane here in 10 laps time. Broke Guy Racing controlling 3 of the top 4 positions on track. Andy Poliski with control of the restart. He fires and we're back underway. Maxwell, huge gap up on the top side. As we are tandem for the top 4. Gunter gonna jump up top and try and rally Breeding and Vroman here.
Ooh, Breeding about got shuffled out there.
Here's Maxwell with a run, and Breeding is gonna go up top.
That was a huge shot from Maxwell. Broke Guy Racing controlling this one.
Broke Guy 3 wide momentarily there for the lead, but the top sign continues to back up as Matichek abandons ship. He'll jump down to the middle.
Man, Breeding's truck just does not look that steady when being pushed right now.
No, it does not. And him and Maxwell are just free falling here through the top 10.
Gotta wonder if there's some damage there to the 26 somewhere.
Poliski in control. Vroman trying to pull the middle along.
Ooh, looked like Poliski thought about leaving the bottom there. He left a little bit of a gap. You gotta be careful.
This top side's coming back now. John Kay's joined the fray, and that third truck is going to make all the difference here as they roar back. Matichek pulls up.
Oh, no!
Jamming up. Maxwell into the wall hard. Caution is back out. They had such a huge run. Matichek, I mean, didn't pull out right in front of him. They had plenty of time. But, I mean, you know, as soon as you catch that truck in front, there's going to be a checkup, and it was just too much for Breeding, Maxwell, and Kay to handle.
I mean, they were very close to having all trucks pointed straight that entire time, but the margin for error is very, very narrow there. Let's take a look. Big push from Maxwell up to Breeding. Matichek going to pull out to the outside lane, and he does not have a ton of speed being carried, and he gets hit like a brick wall. It really upset Breeding, and they are 4 wide here for a moment, and it just all comes together. I mean, really close to getting this saved. And really, they kind of did have it saved there for a moment. There was just one last little touch. I'll have to go back to look to see who that was. It looked like it was a black truck. I'm not sure. But one last little push to John Kay, and I think it might have been RJ.
It was RJ, yeah.
Looked like they pretty well had it under control, but as they continue to slow down, RJ not necessarily privy to everything going on up there. I mean, your view is very limited, tucked under behind somebody else, and that was just the last final blow in a large chain of events.
Sam Baumgarten will get one of his laps back. He's now 3 down. If he could get another one here, get 2 down, he might be able to pick up some spots on the final restart if things all go klabooey. But we, right now, are still going to finish within regulation. But we are walking right up to the line here.
Well, if there was any fuel concerns, I think those have dissipated.
Yeah, definitely. As long as we stay in regulation anyway. As soon as we start adding laps, that might be an issue again. But the majority of the drivers have been down under the last couple of cautions, at least once. What a grouping at the front of this field. Poliski, Matney, Vroman, Zittel, Gunter, Matacek, the top 6. Matt Schlosser 7th, but to your point from earlier, he's got substantial damage on the right front wheel well. So I think he'll only be a factor if they all start to crash and he can snipe an opening. Because if he gets out to the front of this field, he is not going to be very aerodynamically savvy.
There's a few trucks that are not going to be very aerodynamic here at this point.
Cade Cannon up here in the top 10. Jordan Journeau. You mentioned it earlier at the top of the race. We haven't called out his name much since he started towards the front tonight. But Journeau caught up in an accident last week at Atlanta. But, I mean, 2 top 10s to open this season. Even in the preseason races, racing with Journeau, it's very clear he's put in a lot of time behind the wheel of this truck. I mean, leaps and bounds ahead of where he's been in seasons past. Very exciting stuff. Hopefully he can get a good finish here to put last week behind him.
Yeah, interestingly enough, although we love when drivers participate in the car inside cameras, for whatever reason, it seems like every time there's a camera running for the 84, things go awry. And I think last week was the only week he had it running. And that was his lone bad week so far this season. So maybe it would be in his best interest to just keep the camera away for a little while.
So Journeau from the inside of row number 5. Jan Van Leer to his outside would love to pick up a second win of the season. No repeat winners through 3 rounds yet. With John Kay, Jan Van Leer, and Matt Schlosser, the 3 race winners thus far. Who will add their name to that list? Five laps to go at Talladega. The Golden Eagle Syrup 200 has been calamitous, to say the least. Every single crash has been at the front, and it's been big. I don't know how we have survivors to this point, but we do. Poliski and Matney on the front row. Vroman will line up behind his teammate. Matney will have help from the decent one, Kyle Zittel. Five laps to go. Topside is nose to tail. They might have a big run here.
Wow, Rainey pulls way out to the outside immediately, and look at this, fanning out big time.
Matacek and Zittel leave Matney behind. Matney will fall as the 53 is on point on the top line. The pieces start to fall in place. Cannon leading the outside line. Zittel in the middle. Poliski down low with help from his teammate Vroman. Now Matacek will leave Zittel.
Zittel was quick to leave Matney. Now all of a sudden he needs Matney's help here in the middle lane. Boy, they are really stacked up. Cannon and Rainey nearly crashed. There goes Cannon.
Cannon up and nearly over down the backstretch, and they scramble again.
Oh, and John Kay's race is over. He absolutely pounded the inside wall. Jan Van Leer, big damage for him as well. Srirachi. Looks like Josh Freed hung up in another one. Boy, oh boy.
Well, we are headed to overtime for sure. As every time you think that there can't be more carnage, there it is.
There it certainly is.
7th caution of the night. We're running out of daylight here at Talladega.
I mean, the three on the outside lane were that was the epitome of pushing the pusher. Let alone in the turns. Matacek, Cannon, Rainey, all attached to each other through turns 1 and 2. And Cannon just gets a little bit tight up the racetrack, and when you're attached like that, there is no margin for error. Rainey is trying to get out of the gas, but it's just too late. At that point, there's not really anything you can do. Cannon's going to go for a hell of a ride. Jan Van Leer, a huge hit to the outside wall. You see Jack Watts, Eric Breeding. There goes John Kay. Oh, there was some contact between the three. And that was Rainey again trying to get away from everything. Looks like Robin Young got hit by Josh Freed, who was coming back up the... Actually, that might have been John Kay coming back up the racetrack. It was. John Kay had a good view of all this. He was fourth in line there at the top. I think we'll go ahead and go.
His view is probably too good because he is out of this race. There will not be a super speedway 4-peat.
Let's back it up a little bit and take a look across the start finish and into turn 1. Oh, John Kay nearly had it missed. And then one truck came barreling off the top of the off the wall. I believe that was Jan Van Leer. So we're going to have to do it again.
Yes, we are.
And Tommy, to your point, we talked about the fuel. It seemed like they were good to the end. And you mentioned we don't want to have to add laps. Well, we're adding laps.
I mean, it's only 2 laps. Only, as if that isn't
so
nearly
far,
3 miles around.
So far, it's only 2 laps also.
Yeah, exactly.
Trucks down pit road trying to get damage fixed. There were... maybe all of these drivers were involved.
I say, find one that wasn't. I can tell you this much. Andy Poliski did not give up his positioning at the front of this field. Steve Roman as well. Kyle Zittel. But I think Poliski in particular didn't come down on any of our earlier cautions. So he's going to have to be relying on the amount of caution laps that we ran in particular.
What he does have going for him is he was one of those drivers that came down the second caution lap and got a splash of fuel. Kyle Zittel did not.
Interesting.
Also would like to mention, Matt Schlosser is out here still. He was last down pit road on lap 37.
Oh, well, he's going to run out.
The rest of these drivers came down on lap 41 and 42. I mean, he has obviously been on the hard fuel save. We saw him about 80% throttle just letting drivers go by him earlier in the race, but it's paid off to this point. But boy, I would be hard-pressed to see him cross the start-finish line with an ounce of fuel left.
Certainly so. Especially since he's got aero damage as well. That will not help the fuel save whatsoever. Luckily for Schlosser, he's in a good position here. Not only because he's still running at this point in the race, but also picked up the win last week. He can afford to lose a couple of positions here if he does run out of fuel. According to Kyle Zittel, the thing that Andy Poliski has going for him is that he's in a, quote, one of them cheating Fords. And he asked him how much fuel he's got in the roll bar. So we'll find out. Two of the super speedway heavyweights here. Poliski and Zittel on the front row. Vroman and Monacek, row 2. Matney and Gunter on row 3. It's going to be a slugfest here at Talladega. Overtime attempt number 1. Monacek trying to get hooked up here to Zittel. He does not want to give Vroman control of the outside here. And they will box in this 0-0. Vroman for now going to stay committed to Poliski.
Here comes Schlosser trying to get to the third lane, but does have the damage to the front of that truck. Not sure it's going to work out.
I can't see that 04 going anywhere. Ellison might be stuck. Michael Dean into the fray here. Jordan Jorno, Andy Ducato, RJ Starcevic, some drivers trying to get one last opportunity here and nabbing the race victory at Talladega. To the stripe, the white flag is in hand, and this race is official. 1 lap to go. Poliski and Zittel side by side. Vroman and Monacek in tow. Matney and Gunter on the third row.
Oh, there goes Poliski! Teammates again!
4 wide. Zittel now in control. Monacek going to leave him. Monacek with help from Matney. They move up the middle. Zittel and Matney touch. Monacek to the bottom. Here's Brody Gunter to the outside. Can Zittel fire back? Another pass opportunity here, and Monacek. They're bumping and banging all through the pack.
Monacek gets turned!
Andy Ducato has slipped through the madness, and it's the 0-2 of Ducato across the stripe to take the victory. Jordan Jorno is in second. Josh Freed will slip into the podium. And an absolute disastrophe on this final lap. They were 12 wide. Holy. And Ducato slips through all that for the win. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that was certainly a last lap for the books.
Cade Cannon into the top 5. Rob Williams with a career best 8th place finish. And on the flip side of that, heartbreak for Poliski, down to 9th. Kyle Zittel in 15th. Oh my goodness. What a absolutely unbelievable finish here at Talladega.
That is certainly one we will have to watch back quite a few times here.
Over and over and over. I mean, the hits just kept on coming in this race. They never stopped. And that was the one to end them all there. And Ducato in just his 3rd start with the Venom Truck Series. We had him pegged for success early, and he has cashed in big time. Win number 1 at Talladega. Celebration is wrapped up. Let's take a look at it here. And, I mean, it's not... I think what helps this sort of negative energy build up through the field here is the fact that how spread out this field is. They're all going to converge down the backstretch in the final lap, and there's just so much momentum swinging every which direction.
Yeah, certainly. So here we are down start the front stretch. This is coming to the white flag. I mean, Ducato is pretty far back at this point. Monacek and Zittel trying to go for it on the top. Let's pay attention to what happens here on the bottom between Vroman and Poliski. Oh, Poliski hits the apron there. That is what jacked the whole thing up there on the bottom, and it's Broke Guy teammates. Man, they just cannot buy any luck here at the super speedways when they are together. You see Kyle Zittel trying to squeeze the middle lane there. Monacek able to get out front. And Monacek is going to go for a ride here. Yeah, he blocked a couple times and just was not clear that second time up. We're gonna pause here because we look at this. This is ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. Where do you even
I
start?
mean, they're like 6 or 7 wide here at this point. The 73 of Michael Dean ends up turning Kyle Zittel up into the field here. I mean, they are all sideways, and Andy Ducato just happened to slip through on the top. Jordan Jorno, I don't know how he got through on the bottom.
He was the last one. I guess Josh Freed is also going to slip through there too.
I mean,
but that's it.
Jorno just sticks it underneath that yellow line and just happens to not get hit. I mean, that is just ridiculous. Let's back it up to the white flag one more time. We're just going to go all the way around with Ducato here. Ducato is hanging back. He's looking for his run. He is backed off of Gunter here through turns 1 and 2. Trying to time up his move, but I mean, his move kind of gets taken away from him almost because of the shuffling that happened on the bottom. Ends up getting a good push to Gunter here on the top. This is where Monacek will get turned, trying to block that bottom lane. And I mean, Ducato just sticks to the top and really doesn't even see any of the carnage that happens behind him. I mean, he is just free and clear of this thing. I can't stop watching it.
No. It's absolutely wild.
Ducato hammered down. I mean, you see, Starcevic was pushing Ducato after Gunter moved down, and Starcevic just gets absolutely blasted on the outside. I mean, that easily could have also been the O2's fate. Oh, my goodness. Mere inches from either defeat or glory there for the O2, and he comes out on top.
Well, we got some excited drivers that are going to be piling into the waiting room here, I would imagine. Let's get to your full finishing rundown, and we'll let the scenes continue to play out behind here. Ducato with the win. Jordan Jorno will finish in second. Josh Freed will round out the podium, even though he was backwards across the line. Fourth for Steve Vroman, and he just keeps coming so close to these super speedway wins. We'll have to settle for a P4 here this evening. It's a season best, though. Cade Cannon, career best in fifth. It is a sixth place finish for Eric Breeding. That's his best of the season. Matt Schlosser somehow going to finish in seventh. Rob Williams at Attaboy for the 19. Career best eighth place finish tonight for Salty. Congrats. Ninth for Andy Poliski. Rodney Matney will round out the top 10. Those two will be disappointed with that. 11th for Brian Mitchell. Brantley Gainey in 12th. RJ Starcevic in 13th. It is 14th for Paul Ellison. Kyle Zittel will round out the top 15. Michael Dean in 16th. Garrett in 17th, Brody Gunter in 18th, Joshua and Corey Rutherford 19th and 20th, 21st for Jack Watts, Jan Van Leer in 22nd, Frank Sirachi in 23rd. It is 24th for Joshua Matichek. Robin Young in 25th is the final lead lap finisher. Then it is Sam Baumgarten, who got to 2 laps down there, but will still finish in 26th. 27th for John Kay, Lucas Carver in 28th, Gary Clark in 29th, Cole Maxwell 30th. I would imagine DNFs from here on out. Mark Ossier, Zach Lockett, Austin Holyfield, Tyler Bergert, and Jeremy McKinnon through the 35th position. Matthew Karikoff in 36th. Chad Stearns and Pascal Simard, the 38 drivers that took the green flag here this evening. Time to talk to your podium finishers, and we'll start with our third-place finisher. Quite the finish for Josh Freed. Not pointed the correct direction, but the podium check will still cash here tonight. Welcome back, partner.
Yeah, man, that felt like a win there, going from 20th to 3rd on the tri-oval, basically. So I'll take that, man. I couldn't catch a break the entirety of the race, and then I guess luck all came back to me there at the end.
I mean, you have horrendous luck. I mean, I don't think anybody that's been paying attention will be shocked to hear me say that. But it does seem in some of these chaos races that you're able to snipe the podium finishes. I'm thinking of Thompson in particular as well. I mean, what is it do you feel that sort of repels the chaos in times like these?
Yeah, I think all of our luck for our team gets just put to Schlosser. I feel like everything, all 4 of us just hand it to him and he just gets it, I swear. But yeah, I was just trying to stick around, at especially the super speedway, just fingering and that slinger was just like be there at the end, just have the opportunity and see what happens. And obviously the opportunity opened up here, was able to just keep it out of the wrecks enough to, stay alive. I had like 8 minutes of damage. That last caution got me to completing all of it. So I finally, for the first time since like lap 6, had no damage to fix in the pits and was just able to, be there to let it fall in my lap.
Matt, what you got?
Yeah, congrats on a great finish. I mean, you talked about what you had to do to get there. 8 minutes of damage is just a ridiculous number to get fixed all the way through this thing. But I mean, coming here to the end, we're watching it while we're interviewing you here. I mean, was it just instinct that kicked in? What was it that got you through this last one?
In the beginning, I saw like on the last lap, just like 1 or 2 guys fall off, and then at the end, I saw just a ton of smoke, and like in my head, I was just like so annoyed from the whole race. I was like, I'm gonna just keep my foot to the floor and see what happens. And then once I got closer to it, my brain kicked in again. I was like, wait, maybe I should like at least try and get through this wreck. So I did lift a little bit to position myself in the right spot. So I give myself a little bit of credit, but at the same time, if the hole doesn't open up there, nothing happens anyway. So I played it. I got 50-50, a little bit of skill, a little bit of luck.
Well, you snuck through for a top 10 at Daytona as well. The last couple of weeks have been definitely ones to forget. But we're right back to a very memorable podium finish for you here. You're 5th with the Venom Truck Series. So congrats on the P3 here tonight. And let's get some shout-outs in once again before we let you go.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Shout out Matt, another top 10 helping the team points out. Unfortunate for Zach and Chad. They just can't seem to catch a break anytime we go to these play races, always running up front and just getting wrecked out. So hate it for them, but glad that we could sneak out 2 guys for the team points, and hope everybody can rebound next week.
All righty, partner. Looking forward to it. We'll hope to talk to you again at New Hampshire, but go celebrate this one and try and not cool off as well.
I will. Thanks, guys.
Well, I would imagine the party's already started up north of the border for Jordan Journeau. It is another career best finish, and it's good enough for the podium here tonight. Runner-up Journeau. How about it, partner?
Oh, man. I told you guys I'd be back in February.
Yeah? Yes, you did.
It took a long time, but I'm here.
Well, I mean, let's start with this race. I mean, you started up front. You were making moves. First couple of cautions happened. You don't really call your name out until, I think, one of the last couple of restarts we see you're sneaking back into the top 10 here. I mean, what does the middle of this race look like for you other than logging a lot of caution laps?
I was mostly just trying to stick with Cade. I was trying really hard to be doing some good teamwork through this race and get him a good finish because he needed one. He had the speed. He's been running well. He deserved it. And we were just running through, trying to avoid the wrecks. We had some close calls. Cade got caught up in one. So I was mostly I would sit in the pit box and wait for him because I was just trying to work with him. And then towards the end there, I kind of lost him when he got turned on the top, and then I was just trying to run my race. But I honestly, I don't even know how I'm here. I know I was up towards the top 10, but dude, when that wreck happened coming to the tri-oval, I threw it down there and I totally thought I was gonna get right hooked up into the wall or something. I did not think that was gonna work till I came out from the wreck and I see Ducato a truck and a half ahead of me, and I'm like, man, I could have won. So I don't know. I mean, I'll take it. But
All right, Matt, what you got?
Yeah, congrats on a great finish here. I mean, you summed up this race pretty well, but I want to talk about, I mean, the start to the season as a whole. I mean, you're up there, definitely up there in the points. This is only going to further that going into the rest of the season. I mean, it's been a really, really great start to season 10 for you. I mean, what do you think about your start, and what do you think about keeping it up for the rest of season 10?
Well, I mean, after last season, and I was having issues with the truck and having a hard time learning it, so I took a step back and I actually joined another league that I didn't care about as much, to be honest. And I was just running in there trying to learn the truck, and big part of that too has been Cade. I mean, my good finish at Five Flags was thanks to Cade. He gave me a last minute setup tip, and that made me leagues faster than I was before. And at Daytona, like, I just stuck it through, and I was talking to Cade the whole time, so we were kind of like bouncing ideas and everything. And I don't know, it's been really nice to have some teamwork going on between me, Gary, and Cade. I know Gary's been struggling, but it's nice to have the teamwork to not have to think about everything on your own, you know?
Certainly helps to spread the load, and that's exactly what happened here tonight. I mean, quite the escape there, down low, and you'll get yourself a podium to boot. Congrats on the success here tonight and the successes this season as well. Let's get some shout-outs in before I let you go.
Thanks. I want to shout out High Rock. They've been sponsoring me on and off in league racing for a while. I really appreciate that. I wouldn't be in some of the races I'm in if it wasn't for them. Same with Sunoco, Celsius. Sunoco hasn't sponsored me actively in a while, but they were a big help early on, so I appreciate that. And then Raging Idiot Racing Network. I know you guys probably not too happy about that one, but I got to shout out the team co-owners operation. Shout out to you guys, because you guys always put on fun broadcasts to watch back. This is going to be an interesting one. Shout out to Cade. I mean, hey, it's only his fourth race of regular season competition, and he's in the top 5. So he's strong, just like I told people he'd be. So it's nice to see him finally get the finish he deserves. And shout out to Gary for helping me really turn this into a team rather than a solo thing I called a team. And same to Garrett for that.
Certainly a lot of fun to watch you guys thus far this season. Keep it up, partner. We'll hope to talk to you again here soon, but go celebrate this one.
Yep, thanks, guys.
And now it is time to talk to a race winner. It is Andy Ducato, who will slip through the madness and park it in victory lane here tonight at Talladega. How about it, partner?
Don't live till you see Jesus. I guess that's how we say it. Put it on the high side, hang it out, and let her eat. And hopefully get some pure luck in there with it.
I mean, you were up towards the front of this pack all night, but that's usually the way that you can avoid the accidents. I mean, all the crashes were at the front tonight, though. I mean, how did you survive up until this point? Because most people didn't.
Well, I may have been the first one.
Well, that's a good point. Actually, I forgot about that.
Got a little greedy. May have cleared thinking was but wasn't. But hey, you know what? Own it, run it, fix it, and just no. It was cool. Yeah, you're not kidding. There was a lot of crashes up front. It kind of reminded me of a Draft Masters race. So that's kind of how I ran it. Yeah, like whatever 5 to go there. Just kind of as we were coming back to that green white checker, just kind of hung out there in 8th, 9th, whatever it was, and just kind of kept that gap and kind of saw where gaps were filling, trucks were getting squirrely and just kind of picking and choosing where I was going to go. And once we hit that white, I said I'm just going to put it on the high side and go. So,
Matt, what do you got for a race winner?
Yeah, congrats on the race win. I was actually going to ask you this, but Nathan Reynolds also put this question in the chat, so we'll just double dip here. And that first wreck you were talking about, I mean, you narrowly avoided basically ending your race. I mean, you did touch the inside wall, but I mean, you were able to keep it slowed down enough that you didn't completely blow the engine. Walk me through that first one where you definitely could have just been out for the rest of the night after that.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of funny. The computer had an update pushed through not last week, the week before, and some settings changed, and so I didn't really hear the spotter clear me, and then I looked down in the mirror and I saw the headlight, and I'm like, well, take it. And just as I said, take it, I got to see more of the wheel. And I said, well, hang on. Just an aggressive move too early. I calmed her down a little bit after that, just kind of took what came. My goal was to just kind of get to the bottom after that and just hang out there for crash avoidance. And yeah, like I said, saw a lot of stuff from that, 5th place through 15th place, and just able to sweep it down to the inside and just kind of run a little bit more conservative. So yeah, that was the thought process, because it's like, yeah, you would have been the first caution and first truck out. So calm it down a little bit, but here we are.
Well, you're a driver that's coming in here, I mean, with the rookie branding on, but that's not really fair. Most of the drivers here in Venom have run with you before through car inside and whatnot. I mean, you're a guy that was earmarked for early success. You led a lot of laps at Daytona, didn't get the finish to go with it. Top 5 last week at Atlanta. I mean, do you feel like any amount of weight or pressure has been lifted off you here with this one?
It was kind of funny under the caution for green, white, checkered. I was telling Frankie in the 3 truck, my goal is just to do an interview, because we'll make a mockery of it too. But I mean, the weight's off. Like, I came here to just have some fun outside of the standard C-fixed chaos, and and that's what it is. 2 weeks ago I couldn't race. I was in a combine. I won't be around, I don't think, next week. I got to go to Japan for work. But
Damn.
After that, it's it's just come have fun. Qualify for some extra races now, and the goal was to get to the charity race for next February, and we're on our way to that. So go raise some money and give back and all that good stuff. So yeah, that's kind of the goal for the season, is after my trip next week, should be here the rest of the year, unless there's any emergency trips. So.
Well, it sounds like a plan, partner. We'll look forward to talking to you more down the line here. But in the meantime, here tonight, any shout-outs or hellos you want to give out here from the top step? Have at it.
Attaboy to the AM group for hooking me up with the one and only Ziddle, who then decided to post in the car inside group that said, hey, we're doing a qualifying race. So just want to give a shout out to Nathan and that group, and building that relationship got me here. Other than that, no, I mean, nothing fancy. I just do this for, just do it for fun, kill the time during the non-farming and work time and hunting time. So, yeah.
Well, you were hunting the front here tonight. You got the checker. Go celebrate. Go party hard. And we'll hope to talk to you again in a couple weeks.
All right, boys. Have a good one.
First win on the channel. First win of the Venom Truck Series in absolutely dramatic fashion. Andy Ducano walking away with the dub here after... we've had some wild super speedway races before. I don't know. This one is going to be hard to top.
Yeah, this one was a crazy one. I mean, this finish is a little bit akin to Ryan Dye's Talladega win a few seasons ago, with the entire field crashing behind him. So.
And that's like the last crazy Talladega race that we've had too. It's been almost like 2 full calendar years since we've had a race that wild, and I think this one definitely has topped it.
Yeah, this one was it had it all. There's no doubt about it. So I want to shout out the drivers for. We have had really great car counts here for the Venom Truck Series. It's really fun to watch the league flourish as it is right now. So shout out to all the drivers that are out there on the racetrack. Thanks to everybody that was in the chat here tonight. Hope you enjoyed this one. This one, as Tommy mentioned, was quite the wild one here. Shout out to Greg Mall, one of the Thursday drivers and a champion there in the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series, for being here in the chat. Shout out to Nathan Reynolds, RJ Starcevic, Joshua Rutherford, John K., Zach Lockett, Stickers McQueen, Tyler Bergert, Don Golden. Unfortunately, the Rutherfords had a little tangle there with themselves at one time, but they'll be back and better than ever. I know it. Shout out to Data Check that was in the chat here tonight. That was a nice, fun surprise for the evening. Lisa Kelly and Bailey Marie Montechek, of course, Robin Montechek. All the Montechek gang is here, as always, cheering on Joshua. So, thanks everybody for being here in the chat. Hope you enjoyed that one. I know that was a fun one for us here in the booth. Hopefully you enjoyed it at home. And we have a full week here this week, and you are not going to want to miss tomorrow night. Tommy, tell them what we got.
Oh, baby, the Daredevil series finally is back in motion. Catch us tomorrow night, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. It's the mecca of motorsports and the hub of the Daredevil series, Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It is our crown jewel event here on Turn 200. You don't want to miss it. We'll see you tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. We'll also have some racing action for you Thursday night with the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series from Dover. Catch us at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time for that one. That will wrap us around to next Tuesday, the start of the Car Inside Tournament. And I want to try my best, unofficially, to give you the bracket here. I know we'll have some drivers that will probably drop out. And it sounds like maybe some penalties that are going to have to be cleared in the finishing order might be rearranged a little bit. But unofficially, this is the bracket that we're looking for the Car Inside in-season tournament. It would be the 1 seed Andy Ducato versus the 16 seed of Michael Dean. Jordan Jorno and the 2 seed will be against 15 seed Kyle Zittel. 3 seed Josh Freed will be against the 14 of Paul Ellison. 4 seed of Steve Vroman would be against RJ Starcevic in the 13th. The 5 seed Cade Cannon will be against the 12 of Brantley Gainey. Then that would be the 6 of Eric Breeding in front of, did I say Brantley Gainey already? Brian Mitchell then. Lost track. Matt Schlosser and Rodney Matney, Rob Williams, Andy Poliski. There you go. Those are the matchups. Quite the lineup we've got there. So that's what we'll look forward to starting in New Hampshire next week. That's all we got for you here tonight. Thanks to Car Inside, as always. Thank you to the drivers. Thank you to everybody that was watching here tonight. And thank you to Mr. Matt Williamson as well. Till we meet again here from Talladega Super Speedway. I'm Tommy Cook saying so long, and congratulations to Andy Ducato, first-time winner of the Venom Truck Series. This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.